So the basic answer, why did the wolves start phasing after the Cullens left, is because Victoria kept coming back, but it wasn't just Victoria. Like Sam, who was the first to shift, he actually shifted soon after the Cullens arrived in Forks, so way before Victoria. Now, I do have like a hypothesis about how this works because it's supposed to be the scent that triggers it, but Victoria on her own, I would say, is definitely enough of a threat to make that many people shift because she kept coming back. And remember, Victoria has that gift that makes her really hard to catch, so they definitely needed more pack members. And I definitely think there's something to the level of danger causes more transformations, because that's why the werewolves exist. That's the way the gene developed, to protect their community, to protect humans. So if there's a lot of danger, there would be more transformations. That makes sense. But it's also interesting to think about how Jacob could smell Edward in twilight. He doesn't know what it is, but when he goes to the Swan house and Edward has been there, he says that something smells rancid. And also he thinks that Bella wears this really awful perfume at prom, but it's just Edward. So now, if no vampire had crossed through after that, would Jacob have never shifted? I don't know, maybe? Because like in the beginning of New Moon, when Bella first starts hanging out with Jacob, his transformation is already kind of starting. Jacob in particular took an especially long time to shift because he was so happy being with Bella all the time, which like I just can't, because what actually like triggers the transformation itself, it's like anger, right? And he just like wasn't getting angry, so then it gets to this point where like he has to shift and something totally random set him off. So like this movie theater scene in the book, it is not like this. He does not have random beef with Mike Newton and he doesn't go off on Mike Newton. Jacob just says that he's feeling weird and he takes Bella home and they have that "I won't let you down" moment outside her house. And then we know that he goes home and Billy's just kind of like, "Hey, are you okay? You look weird." And he just freaks out and he turns into a wolf. And Jacob is very horrified by this. He's already horrified by this rage that he starts feeling randomly that he can't control. And that's what he says is the worst part about being a werewolf, feeling like he can't control himself. But it really is devastating to think about, because Jacob prior to this was not easily angered at all. He was very easygoing, naturally cheerful and gentle, like Bella says. And you know how everybody loves Seth because he's so nice and easygoing, and really just because he like sucks up to the Cullens, which he doesn't have to do. But you know who was exactly like that before? Jacob was exactly like that. He's described exactly like that. Edward literally describes his thoughts exactly like he describes Seth's later in the books. It's just really sad to think about. Jacob was just a boy. He was a good boy and he did not deserve all this stuff that happened to him. But all this to say, it's interesting to think about if the Cullens had actually started setting these transformations in motion. You know, like Jacob even says that in New Moon, you know, some things are already set in motion. I know that's just him talking, but we know that they did trigger Sam's transformation. So